Hello, everybody. Welcome today here at Ballin with Bill at Sideline Power. I have quite an honor. I've known this gentleman here for quite a long time as a coach. And when I used to recruit out at Dana and stuff like that, got to know him as the head coach there. Tyler Zahn from Ralston High School. Great to have you here today, Coach.
Hey, thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Appreciate you stopping by. So I always like to start off and kind of say, okay, how did you get involved in football? I know you're from Schuyler, but kind of tell us and who were your top people that you looked up to and all that starting out.
Very
Young
good.
man.
I'm actually from Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Not Schuyler, but that's okay.
My bad.
Yeah, that's all right. Just grew up in Syracuse. Grew up on a farm in Syracuse. Really enjoyed my high school experience with athletics. Was a four-sport guy. Did baseball in the summer and football in the fall and basketball, track in the spring, and my basketball coach Leon Bose and my football coach Reed Stevenson were very good influences on me, and I knew right away when I went to school or went to college that I wanted to be a coach and a teacher. So from there, I had a great opportunity to walk on at the University of Nebraska as a linebacker and spent 4 years there, banging heads on the scout team and running down on a few kickoffs, and had a great experience there. Spent my last year as an undergrad assistant coach there under Coach Osborne, and went to my first interview at Ralston High School and got the job.
Right out of college.
Right out of college. Wow. Not the head football job, but I got a teaching job.
Who was the head coach when you first started there?
Kevin Kopecky was the head coach.
Kevin. Yeah.
So I took over for him.
Did you?
Yeah.
Tell us, how was Coach Osborne? Was Coach Osborne a good influence on you?
Oh my goodness sakes, yes. I mean,
and Charlie McBride was your DC there too, so he's quite a character.
Oh, he's awesome guy. Have a lot of fun with Charlie. Their whole staff were full of great people.
In those days, yeah,
full of great people, and a lot of respect and admiration for all those guys and how they influenced me as a coach and a person.
Awesome. So let's talk about you got started at Ralston. Would you start out as an assistant coach, as defensive coordinator?
Yeah, linebackers. I coached linebackers there at Ralston under Coach Kopecky for a couple years, and we were Class A back then, which was a tough grind.
Because you're in the Metro back then.
Yeah, we were in the Metro back then, and Coach Kopecky got a couple better offers and took off. So I interviewed for the job and got it.
So when you first took over, what did you kind of do to get things started in your you're a young coach,
right?
So
yeah.
what did you do to get things started? So it kind of followed what you looked to build a program.
Well, we wanted to get an influx of good young kids, and so we went right into the youth programs right away and got those set up the way we wanted to, and helped our numbers. Kind of what we're doing again right now. We lack numbers right now, so we're really working hard at bringing those up. So that was the first thing we did.
I know, because when did you go to Class B when you were there? I mean, because I remember you in Class A too there for quite a while.
We were Class B my first year.
So when you first came head coach.
So 97, we were Class B.
Okay.
We weren't very good, but we were Class B. We played hard and did things right and kind of set the table. And the next year we were in the playoffs.
So what type of offense did you in defense? What kind of a
we had
kind of a thing? What did you set up to get things rolling your way?
Well, we took a lot from Nebraska. We had power. We played power football, and we had I formation. We were multiple, but defensively we used to run an old 5-3.
Okay.
With Gary Dubbs, rest in peace. My old defensive coordinator was a Superman and a superhuman being, and excited to have him, and he did a great job for us running that 5-3.
Yeah, because talk about what it was like when you first started to win there and everything like that, and how you. Because I remember you were struggling, and then you took off there. Because I moved here in about 2001, and you kind of had her going pretty steadily back then. Because I used to come up and see you and recruit you.
Yeah, we made it to the state finals in 2002, so we got beat by McCook. But we just steadily built those numbers, and with numbers came excitement. And, you make the playoffs, the school gets excited, the community gets excited, and that was a big step. We made the playoffs in that second year, and then in '99, then we made the semifinals. So the community kind of really rallied around that and got excited about football again, and so that was a big step for us. And then, of course, 02 we were in the state championship game, and then through the 2000s, early 2000s through 2014, we were pretty regular playoff contenders.
Right. I know you had a lot of kids. I had some kids play for me at Dan.
Yeah. Great kids. Yeah. I got them on my staff. I hired them, buddy. Pete Geldis.
Pete's there?
Pete's there.
Holy cow.
Helping me. And Clint Williams is my defensive coordinator.
Clint's now your D coordinator?
Yeah. And, of course, the bad cat, John Stu. Yeah, he's my offensive coordinator. So.
And he moved from defense to offense.
Yeah.
How does that a change for him? Because he played defense for us, too, at Dana. And he started coaching. He was always on the defensive side.
Yeah, I had him as my defensive coordinator when Coach Dubs retired. But he's doing a great job on offense.
How does he like it? How does he adjust to it?
Oh, I think he's adjusting fine. We argue back and forth about running the ball a little bit more. But
he likes to throw it?
Well,
He comes from me a little bit.
Right. That's that Dana background.
But you remind him that you still got to keep that thing right on the ground.
We got to give our defense a little bit of rest.
Yes. They need to recover over there. That's what my DC used to say all the time. Could you slow it down?
Yeah, can we not score in 2 plays? We don't want to put them right back out there. We got 4 quarters to play.
Their tongues are still hanging out over here, Bill. Yeah, I know. I've had that same discussions. So how's Pete doing, Coach? I mean, I forget he's
Pete volunteers. He works with our defensive line.
Because he's in the police force?
Yeah. He's actually in the private sector now.
Private sector now?
He's a recruiter, but doing really well. He's great to have around. He really knows his position on the defensive line and really helps us out a lot. So.
That's awesome. And Clint Williams.
Yep, Clint's doing great. Defensive coordinator. He's the one that says we got to get a little rest over here once in a while.
Yeah.
So.
His dad, I played with his dad.
Oh, really?
They're from
Platteview.
Yeah. His dad played. He was an outside linebacker at UNO when I played there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played. Him and Bob were both outside linebackers, so yeah.
Good family.
Yeah.
Really good family.
Yeah. He's a good kid. Great kid.
I live in Louisville, so I run in Springfield once in a while, and I run into the family.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, some uncles and aunts. So.
Yeah, that's where his dad's all over there and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Small world. So anyway, let's continue about, so you had all that success. What do you, when you look at it, because you built that thing up and then had a ton of success, what do you think were the components that made it so successful for you for that long run before you went to Louisville?
I had great coaches. I mean, that's obviously a huge part of it.
Right.
Great assistant coaches. I had great kids that were bought in. They bought into the weight room. They bought into the multi-sport aspect of it. Being committed. Those were things that were cornerstones for us forever. And that's kind of what we got to bring back. And the kids were always bought in. They were wrestlers. They ran track in the spring. They did all the tough stuff that it took to fuel that competitive desire, and that kind of carried over into the fall. So that's kind of what we want.
Yeah, you're talking my type thing. So because you coming from Nebraska, because I was a strength coach too when I first started coaching, and I learned all my strength coaching from Boyd. Yeah. So how did you adapt that to high school? Because there is a difference, because the hours you get the kids.
Right.
Your kid, when you get into high school, they do other sports and other things. So how did you adapt that program at Ralston?
I stole a lot of stuff from Nebraska. The hypertrophy phase, the strength phase, the peak phase, all the stuff that we did with Boyd. You don't necessarily have to water it down, but you got to pick your spots a little bit. Mm-hmm. And your guys that are bought in and really want to work, you'll see those guys really excel. So that was awesome. We're going to get that back.
Yeah. So now when you went to Louisville, what did you do? Because you coached basketball and baseball there too, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I coached basketball. I was head basketball.
And then head football too.
So in 2014,
I think you left, yeah.
Yeah, so 2014, my boys were freshmen. During the 2013 season, I think it was, or 2014, excuse me. During that season, I was on the sideline wondering how they were doing, so I knew that wasn't going to work very long. So I resigned my coaching at Ralston. Louisville had a position open that was head basketball. I went down down there and was head basketball for 3 years.
Were you assistant football then too?
Assistant football and assistant track.
Right.
So 3 great years there at Louisville under Coach Rasby, and had a lot of fun coaching my boys. Made a state tournament appearance in basketball, so that was fun. Won a conference title in basketball, which was fun. So, that was the biggest reason, was family reasons to take that job. Fortunately, I was able to keep my teaching job at Ralston.
You've taught there the whole time, correct?
This is my 29th year teaching in the Ralston district. So.
Wow.
Once I did that, I never thought I'd have an opportunity to be back. So.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard your name surface, I said, wow.
Yeah.
So now tell me, going from football to basketball, what was that like? Because, I mean, it's 2 different mindsets, and you can't go out and clothesline anybody or tackle them down the court. You might get a foul, get a little trouble, might get a fight or something like that. So how did you adjust your personality to go back into basketball?
That's funny. If you ask the officials, I probably didn't adjust my personality very much.
I believe that.
But, we played physical in basketball, too. I mean, we took our toughness mentality in football and just, we weren't overly skilled in basketball, so we had to out-tough people and defensively get our butts down and play hard and guard people and get stops. And we were able to do that for a couple of years. So, and that was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
The turnaround in basketball, that was the hardest part to adjust to. Sometimes you got 2-3 games a week.
I know it.
So that preparation wise was, I had to really budget my time better to prepare. Figure out what was important to prepare for. So that was a change.
Right.
That took me a year to figure that out.
Did it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you've got boom your games. And
yeah.
We get usually, unless you play a Thursday night, you get a full week to prepare for your opponent.
Right.
And talk about your mistakes you made in the last game and get them corrected.
Yep. Exactly.
So basketball, how do you do that? I mean,
so you got to, like I said, you got to pick your spots on what you want to get done. Not unlike football, you got to know your opponent. You got to know who the guys you got to stop. And what you want to do to keep them from getting the ball and things like that. So the scouting piece is still there. It's it's a little more streamlined.
Do you get film like you do in football? To
break
down?
Yeah. You get game film and you try to break it down as best you can.
Can you still send scouts? I remember in our day we used to scout.
Well, we did some of that, not nearly as much with the huddle and the things.
So you can get the film pretty quickly for basketball.
Yeah, and you get games. You can go back a couple weeks and find a couple games that you need and get a head start. So, that was different for sure.
Yeah, because that makes it probably a little bit better as far as preparation for basketball.
Right.
So now you get done there, and then I see you, and you're at my alma mater.
Yep.
So how'd that all?
Well, West Side. I don't know. I was in my second year at Louisville, I think, and Coach Freund. I remember I was at a catfishing tournament.
Where was that at?
In Harlan County.
Really? Over there in Iowa?
Yeah. No, in Nebraska.
Okay.
Alma.
Alma, okay.
Republican City.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was at a catfishing tournament, which was.
Did you get any?
Which was we always slay them out there.
Mark would like that. He wants to go slay some catfish.
Right on. Good stuff.
Yeah.
But I go from with a bunch of guys from Syracuse, so I was and that was late July, and Coach Freund had called me and said, "Shark, I got a position open for you. I really need you." And I just couldn't do that to the guys I'd been working with at Louisville. I knew I had to give them a little more notice, so I stuck around another year at Louisville, and Coach Freund called me then in December or early January the next year, and I said, "I'll do it." So at that point, then I was coaching football at Westside. I was teaching at Ralston, and I kept my track position at Louisville.
No kidding.
So,
how did you manage that?
Oh, well, I live in Louisville, so it was manageable.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
But I was out of basketball at that time. So
you walked away from basketball?
Yeah. So that was the end of my basketball.
So tell me about coaching up there at Westside, because you had some success up there last year.
Great
team last year.
Great program, great culture, great guys to work with. just a lot of fun. Very committed kids. Again, probably the thing that sets them apart is their culture. Coach Freund does a great job with that, and the kids are all bought in at every level, and it was just fun. And of course, we had some super players.
You did.
Some really fun guys that, the Haberman kid that's at Northern Illinois.
And you got the kid up in North Dakota State.
Yeah, I coached the defensive line, so.
So you had the Haberman kid.
Yeah, so
He's a hard. He was a good wrestler too.
Oh, great wrestler, high motor guy.
Yeah.
Great track kid. Just kind of guy that I've won a lot of games with. So, and they make you look good.
They do.
Those guys.
Yeah, they do.
They make you look like you know what you're doing.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Hey, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Brett Davis. I'm the Vice President of Support and Sales at Sideline Power, and welcome to our Reconditioning Center. The process of reconditioning headsets is we get the system in, we clean it up, we test it out, we find where the weaknesses or where the issues of concern are for the coach, identifying those issues of concern, going through and replacing mic booms, replacing ear sets, and other pieces that might need to be fixed or replaced. In a given year, Sideline Power, we'll go through and recondition anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 headsets. We might get 250, 300 systems that are in during the course of a typical year. So we keep really busy here in the reconditioning warehouse. In terms of reconditioning headsets, we've had great feedback from coaches across the country that send them in. We have coaches that every year, are sending their headsets into us on an annual basis. We get calls on a Monday, about a system after a game on Friday night. We make sure that next Friday that they're taken care of. The coaches are our number one priority, and we'll do whatever we can to make sure that those coaches are taken care of on Friday night. Sideline Power is a one-stop shop for coaches. We're here to make life easy for coaches. They have enough to worry about, whether it's the X's and O's, player development, and so forth. So when it comes to technology, let us take care of that for you. From headsets to end zone cameras to sound systems, we're here to make your life easy. And I'm Brett with Sideline Power. Stay powered up.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back at Ballin Bill here with Coach Tyler Zahn from Ralston High School. And you were talking about last year at Westside, and you guys had an unbelievable year last year. I mean, you went through undefeated, won the state championship. I thought the game was going to be between you and Bellevue West, and Kearney coming along and upset Bellevue West. And you guys kind of had your way going through the thing. But you're talking about Haberman, who's at Northern Illinois playing now.
Yeah.
Vontae
Dickerson's at Oregon. And Brett's is down in Lincoln.
And then you got North Dakota kid quarterback up north. Probably will start next year.
Yeah.
So I mean, you had some.
Table was set, and really it started the year before when we got beat in the finals.
Right. Who beat you in the finals the year before? I can't remember.
Bellevue West.
Bellevue West. That's right.
They got us good in the finals.
That's right.
Started to snow a little bit. It was fun, but for our kids as juniors, that group as juniors to get down there to the state finals, that was very important. It just made them that much more hungry and gave them the thought that they could get that done.
Yeah. Now, the thing I like about you is the mental attitude and the aspect, the toughness. Okay, I know you work with kids from a young age. How do you develop that? Because that is so important for football. It is. I mean, that mental toughness, not giving up, be able to fight through, persevere, all those things that we talk about as coaches and players.
Difference between pain and injury.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing, Because, when you look at the guys we used to have as kids, like Larry Zonka and those guys used to play broken noses. How do you, today's youth, how do you teach that and kind of cultivate that starting out? So when you get
you really just have to bring it up daily almost. It's got to be ingrained in them from day one, and you got to talk about it. When you communicate with them via email or via text or whatever, it's got to be part of the thread that you're always preaching. It's been tough this year to get them to buy into that, but I think we're making progress. I know we're making progress in that area. It's just there's no magic wand to it. You gotta keep talking about it, and you gotta keep demonstrating. Hey, that's tough. That's a good tough run. Way to fall forward. Way to get the extra yardage. That's just a mentality that we got to keep building on.
Gotcha. Because I think that's something that you love to see in football.
Well, the other part of that is being a multi-sport guy. If you're a wrestler and you're in a overtime match, you got to be tough to win it. So,
Right.
if you're a basketball player, same thing. You got to get your butt down. You got to guard people. So,
Yeah. Take the ball away.
yeah, you got to take the ball away, get extra chances. Track's awesome. It's an individual sport again.
Competing.
You're competing again. There's nobody. You got to point the thumb. You can't point the finger.
Right.
So, that's
I like
that's
that one.
important.
Point the thumb.
Yeah. It's more on you than it is anybody else. So
Right.
those are the kind of guys we're trying to develop, and we need a bunch more of at Ralston.
Yeah. You had them back in those 2000s.
Oh yeah.
Because they came up and were dang good players for me.
Yeah.
Good kids and easy to coach.
Yeah, that's
Good-
what
they
we
listen.
like.
They good listeners. I know you had the kids go to South Dakota State, UNO, back
Oh,
then,
yeah.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, we had good stock of kids,
yeah,
and that's to their credit too.
yeah.
The Huffs and the Walkers and
They all bought in.
the
And,
Stooms,
Right.
all those guys were multi-sport guys that laid it on the line. So
bought it in and worked
Yeah.
hard. That's special.
Flotts,
Yeah,
Wickerts, I could go Wallaces,
yeah,
on down the line.
yeah.
Simpsons.
You're bringing some good names now, Coach.
Yeah.
Okay, where did you get the nickname Shark from?
Oh man, that's an old college name. Just started at a bowl game one year, and that was when if you remember the Saturday Night Live skit, the old land shark.
Yes.
Saturday Night Live. Well, I don't know. We maybe got a belly full of beer down there or something. I don't know. But we were going around. I was knocking on doors, and they were saying, "No, we're not going to let you in. You're that land shark." I said, "No, I'm the turf shark." And it stuck. I don't know. Yeah.
That's cool.
And then I got a little bit of a profile too that looks like a shark. So that's just, I don't know. That's hard to
pretty good.
explain.
That's
That
pretty
one's
good.
hard to
I
explain.
remember the old land shark.
But it stuck because almost everybody calls me Shark.
Yeah, because I never knew why, and I've always heard people that
Yeah.
knew you, have been around you a while, have always called you Shark. And I
Yeah.
was trying to think, why are they called Coach
They
Shark?
probably don't know why either. They probably forgot.
But I remember that old skit on Saturday Night
Yeah,
Live.
that's kind of what it was.
Yeah. Was that Belushi that did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just stupid stuff. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I hear you. So now you get Westside, you win a state championship. What made you decide to come back and be a head coach again?
Well, Coach Fink resigned, and he let me know that, hey, this is going to be open. I honestly didn't think I'd ever coach in Ralston again, but I talked to my family about it and did some soul searching and talked to Coach Freund about it. And it just seemed like the right thing to do at the stage of my career and give back to Ralston before I finish up, and hopefully give them some playoff bursts here in the next few years.
Cool. So now, when you first got there, what'd you have to do? I mean, what are you looking at? When did you start?
Taking the program back.
Then, what are your first steps you've been doing?
We've been spending a lot of time in the weight room, and it's been a challenge. But we're getting there. We're getting our young kids. We've got a lot of juniors playing, some sophomores that are really coming up. Good freshman group, really 45 eighth graders on the roster, and then the 7th graders went undefeated this year. So we got guys coming through the program. We just got to keep building it the way we want to with the things we talked about, being a multi-sport guy and buying in and hitting the weight room hard and doing all the things that it takes to be successful.
Now, how do you do? Because I mean, a lot of times now, and that's the biggest change I think in youth sports that's happened. It's like now you have a youth like baseball, then now you have a fall baseball and young kids sports.
Yes.
So I mean, they're throwing kids' arms out all the time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
how do you, down to youth age, get that going back to where they are doing all sports, which I think they need. That I really believe that's one of the weaknesses of our youth in our society is they need to play all the sports, get
Right.
the experience. It gives them an idea what they're talented at, and
Burnout. I mean,
it's
easily to burn out. when
if
you're
you
just
start doing one thing,
yeah.
I worry about the burnout. And it's a proven
Yeah.
fact that if they do that when they get to high school, only 25-30% actually play in high school because of that.
Yeah.
Or they do the multiple sport athlete
Right. You know,
is staying out in high school in a couple sports or maybe all 3 sports, but it's a better transition because they don't get burned out.
right.
So how do you
When you
change
talk
that?
about a school our size and the number of athletes that we have, being a multi-sport guy is great for injury prevention, for lack of burnout, all that stuff. So, I teach at the middle school, so I
Right,
do
you're
find
still at the
that,
middle school
I
then.
find that as an advantage. Some people might gripe about it, but to me, that's an advantage. I can get in their ear and say, "Hey, you need to play basketball. You can do all four sports you can do four sports at the middle school."
Right.
So, having them do that and be exposed to that and find their niche, I think, is important. So,
How do you adjust that for parents? I mean, because some of the parents think they're going to play two sports,
Well,
play
I
one
think-
sport and get to the
I
major
think,
leagues. Or
I think
NFL.
injury prevention is
that
the
what you work
biggest
with?
key. Yeah, I mean that's what you tell them. I mean, if you're throwing 100 pitches every other day,
That elastic won't last so long.
you only got so many throws.
Right.
Just like you and I only got so many.
I think there's a good chance we might have used them up.
No, but that's the biggest thing is just educating them and making it fun. You gotta make it fun for them.
Yeah.
So that they stay with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's when you're looking at the younger ages, getting those kids out, so you're not trying to pull them out of the hallway.
Right.
High school is
high school to try to pull them out. It's really tough because they haven't been exposed to the football's a grind. There's a process to it, and there's every week you gotta set the table again, and so it's a different mentality. And if you haven't been through that through your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior years, that makes it tough.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I like the multiple sport, especially at that younger age when they get to high school and they can do still 2 or 3 sports because I think it keeps them fresh.
And at Ralston, that's really an advantage because that's what we preach. At West Side, we had 100 guys, so we're not fortunate enough to have that. So
I know it, but there's still a lot of 2-sport athletes at even.
oh,
West Side,
absolutely, yeah, they do a great job with that.
because I think that's important even at that level.
Goodness sakes, yes, yeah.
So-
Even more important because of our numbers. So
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah. And it's easier to do all the sports. It's easier to do them all.
right, because
So-
there's a good break in the seasons and all that stuff now, which I think helps the kids.
Right.
Yeah. I've always believed that, and I think if you keep it fresh, I think it's great for kids as they grow up and
Yep,
stuff.
Exactly.
Then they have a
they
chance
learn a little bit more about themselves and about others through every new experience. So, humility is another thing. You might be an all-star on the baseball diamond, but on the wrestling or on the football field, you might have to play more of a role.
Correct.
Which teaches you to be humble and
Right.
and hey, I get this now. I'm not always going to be the top dog.
Yeah, it's a good learning lesson as you
Yep.
grow up.
Yep.
So now you come along a long ways. How have you adjusted you started that power football 5-3 smash mouth beat.
Oh, yeah.
How have you adjusted your train of thought,
Well,
what you're
my-
doing now and coaching and everything like that? Because it's more spread. Tackling's
Yeah.
tackling's a lot different than
yeah,
you and I
the
did.
old
It's-
gator rolls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All that's different. So, we're running the spread. More so because of our personnel. I think eventually we'll be able to incorporate some more power football back into it. You look at the Plattsmouths; they're doing a great job.
Yeah, Bob's done a nice job.
Yeah,
there.
incorporating that power football.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have the right guys and the right mentality, but I'd like to see us get to that too.
Right.
But personnel wise, we've got some very good skill kids that we're trying to get the ball to. So spreading them out and getting them the ball in space only makes sense.
Okay. Defensively.
And then defensively,
Because I mean that's the biggest adjustment because you can come
Yeah.
out and play Bob Zuris, a power team, and then go play Bennington, and they're spreading you out.
exactly.
Getting that kid the ball everywhere.
Yep, it still comes down to fundamentals. You got to win the yard up front. You got to be great tacklers in the second level and third level. You got to have great tacklers and great cover people. So it's not
Just
that
got
part.
tackling space is a lot more important now.
Yes, tackling in space and long stride, short stride.
Right.
All those little things that you can teach them, and having great athletes helps too.
Yes. How have you adjusted the tackling? Because I mean, we were taught the game.
we're doing
because now it's like a double leg takedown.
Yeah, it's more like a takedown
Right.
with the gator roll. You keep your head out of it. That's
Right.
the biggest thing, which is smart.
Right. I know.
If we want our game to survive, that's how it's got to be.
Well, I agree. I mean, yeah, because you and I, we were taught to
Head
across,
across, yep.
break them down, baby. But I know the gator roll it reminds me of double leg takedowns. What it reminds me of in
Right.
wrestling.
Yeah. And it's very effective.
Yeah.
You know, you can master it. You can master the technique, but it was a change for me.
Yeah. What do you do teaching wise different?
Oh, there's a lot more tools out there now. We got, tackle wheels. We got the sleds that pop up.
Right.
So there's a lot more equipment that's conducive to teaching that. So, and that's helped.
Now, do you guys to run the football like you used to?
Oh yeah, we got a running back who's averaging 160 yards a game. So,
I thought so. What year of school is he?
He's a senior.
Okay.
Yeah, Rashad Madden.
He's having a nice year too.
Yeah, nice year.
Yeah. So now, as far as when I look at it, how you would adjust with the different type of things you see every week. I mean, because you'd see a lot. Class B to me that's been the biggest change.
Yeah.
I've seen in Nebraska football how good Class B in this area is top to bottom.
Oh yeah,
I think sometimes
teams,
it's stronger in Class A from top to bottom.
Right.
In that top 10. So how? I mean.
You just got to be ready.
Now you got to get back into that group like you were.
It still comes back to
it's
fun.
Very competitive.
Yeah, it's still physical. It's physical football. So
yeah,
if you can win the yard up front and do those kind of things, fight across blocks, it's not unlike what we taught.
No,
so,
yeah. The biggest change I think is tackling and they'll tackle in space because they try to spread you out and get you one-on-one.
Yep. And there's every team's got a guy that can break a tackle one-on-one. So,
right.
Whether it be physically or with a little more elusiveness.
Speed, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, who do you play tonight? I know you got
Blair. We got the Blair Bears.
At Ralston or Blair?
At Ralston. We're the TV game tonight.
So, are you good? We'll watch it.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Oh yeah, we're always excited.
How they've been playing this year?
Blair has been a little bit up and down, but they're getting healthy again now, so they'll give us a really good test.
Do you guys match up with them, or is
we match up.
They're a spread team too, aren't they?
Yeah, they do a little spread, but they still like to run it too. Class B is still a running league.
That Bennington team,
Plattsmouth,
Smith,
those two teams, they can pound it at you.
Right.
I mean, Bennington spreads it out, and they play great defense. So, it's a good league.
I think Bob was the only team that could beat him last year. Be interested to see if he can do it again this year because Bennington was on a roll last year.
Well, they might be on a collision course, so play each other. I know Plattsmouth's been the best team on our schedule.
Gotcha. Did you play them already?
Yeah.
When did you have them?
We had them early, week 3 or 4, I think, 2 or 3, something like that. Week 2.
Gotcha. Because
Bob's a good guy.
Oh, Bob, yeah.
I live in Louisville. He's in Plattsmouth, so we see each other at Hy-Vee once in a while.
Yeah. We've been good. I remember when he coached for UNO up there at for Bob when Bob was the AD.
Oh yeah,
he was under Pat's staff. That's when I first met him. So I've known Bob a lot. And then of course I go to Dan and he goes to Fremont and became good friends from then on.
Bet.
Yeah, but he's always respected what he's done. A nice job up there.
Yeah, great job, great program.
Yeah, and he's got kids
I
out.
I like how physical they are.
Bob will hit you. Yeah, that's. But I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, he did a nice job building that up, and I think after what he considers a program, he started with youth up like you did, and I think it's paying off for him.
Yep,
every
absolutely.
year. So he's in that weight room with those kids. And I think that helps tremendously too.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, do you have a good strength coach up there at Ralston now? Or?
Yeah. Ed Schmidt does a great job.
Eddie's up there?
He took my position when I got moved to the middle school.
Okay.
When I resigned my coaching, they moved me to the middle school, and he took my spot, and he's done a great job.
Because you were always in there, because that's where I used to come visit. You were when I first came visit you, you were at the middle school. Then eventually I started coming up to see you at the weight room.
Yep. So my 30-year career, I spent about 10 at the middle school, about 10 at the high school, and about 10 back at the middle school now. So.
Wow. Still educating the youth today.
Right. The youth of America.
That's right. Well, Coach, I really wish you well tonight.
You bet. Thank you.
I appreciate you spending some time with us
in
the morning here.
Love it.
And before your game, and I know you got a walkthrough coming up here.
Yeah,
wish you
get
good
back
luck.
To Ralston, so.
Tell all those coaches I said hello, and wish you well tonight.
Should we do a little throwdown?
Yeah, I think we should at least give them a little hug.
EVOD. I want to see EVOD in action.
That's right, man. Here we go. You ready? Push! 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 Thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate you, brother.